Hi, my name is Ann Woockman, and for my school technology project, I will be discussing the app Google Forms. Google Forms is a very popular app, so I'm sure you have heard of it sometime before or even used it. First, I'm going to be talking about the history. Obviously, Google Forms is a fairly recent app. At first, Google Forms was a Google Sheets feature in 2008, which was 2 years after Google Sheets was first introduced. Through this feature, you could add a form to a spreadsheet, format it in a separate sheet, and see your form responses in another sheet. In other words, the functions were very basic, but it was something. Over time, they began adding more features and more complex features until it became its own standalone app in early 2016. Now you are able to complete various different features such as add standard question types, drag and drop questions in any specific order, customize the form with simple photos and themes, and gather responses in forms or save them to a Google Sheets spreadsheet. Through all this, you can make and manage all your forms in your Google account. There are many different ways that a teacher can use Google Forms. Some of the most common uses that teachers use Google Forms is to create surveys, quizzes, bell ringers or exit tickets, lesson plans, rubrics, and to collect information. They are able to share the results or gather results from other teachers, students, parents, or other faculty members. It can take time for students to get comfortable using Google Forms, but it becomes very useful for students when they get comfortable using it. Some of the most common student uses for Google Forms is research, data collection, surveys, and quizzes. Students are also able to share these forms with other students and their teachers, which allows lots of collaboration in the classroom and also outside of the classroom. As I stated before, it can take students time to get comfortable with apps, so it would be recommended that students should be able to use Google Forms by themselves and for their own purpose by the 5th grade. Students should be able to complete certain assessments that the teacher creates on Google Forms by the 2nd grade. This is because the process of creating a Google Forms can be a little complex compared to the ease that comes with simply using one that is already created for them. These are the references that I utilized. And now let's move on to a brief introduction on how to use Google Forms. So, in order to use Google Forms, you're first obviously going to go to your Gmail account. And then once you get in your Gmail account, you're going to click these 9 little dots that says Google Apps. And for some people, Google Forms will just be hanging out around here, and then you can click it there. But if it's not, all you have to do is go to More from Google, and then click Explore All Products, and then Forms is right there. And then we can go to Personal Google Forms. So once you get into Google Forms, you can see that there is a template gallery. So it comes with many that you can already use yourself, and it comes with lots of different uses. Here's the education section, and that's just exit tickets, assessments, worksheets, course evaluations. But even some of these Google Forms that aren't listed under education could also be used for school related purposes. For example, teacher sign up or contact information. If a teacher is trying to get contact information from parents for their students, that would be a really easy way to go about it, and a simple way for the parents as well. So now, and then you can see down here that it saves all your Google Forms that you've already created. So it's really simple and it's easy to go, and you can just click into Google Forms you've already created. I just used one of the templates that it came with for an example. So t-shirt signups, it says your name, size. And like I said, this is a template. But even though it's a template, you can still add different things into it if there's something else you want to add. And then when you're adding stuff, there's different options. So you can have multiple choice, you can have checks, boxes, drop downs. You can upload something, like if you want to upload a picture or something. You can have short answer responses, paragraph responses, multiple choice grids, checkbox grids. You can also add a date and time. And it's really easy with the icon there. Time. And then it's also very easy if you want to duplicate it. All you have to do is simply press duplicate. If you want to trash it, all you gotta do is press delete. And one of the really nice things that would come in handy for teachers is this required button. So if it's a question that you don't need your students to answer, you can obviously leave it unrequired. But if you want to make sure your students actually answer all the questions, you can press the required box. So they have to put in something in order to actually submit their responses. And then getting responses is also very easy. So all you have to do is press send. And then there's different ways. So you can send it through an email, and I'll just do my email for example. Or you can also get the link. It has the link there for you. You can get the shortened URL. And then this way. So if we go back to email, I can send that email to myself. And then if I go back to my Google account, there it is. It's simple. It's easy. So then for the person that's receiving the email, it's also really easy. All they have to do is click their email and fill out form, and it takes them right to it. So the next part of Google Forms is the responses. So it's also very easy to see the responses. It's automatically saved in with your form. So all I need to do is press responses. And I already responded to one before just for an example, because I really wanted to show that you can have this summary. So you can see I put my name and then the shirt sizes, for example. They create a graph for you. And so you can see that 100% of the responses are small and they've only had one response. Other thoughts or comments, you can easily see those too. I just put, I love this design. So you can also come back up here and you can do it by question. So the first question was obviously your name. So you can do that. And then if you had multiple other responses, it would show down here. And then to go to another question, you just simply click the arrow and then you could see all the responses that way. Same with the third question. Or there's another option. You can also do individual. So it'd be each person that filled it out. So it really makes it easy and special. So however it's easiest for you, they apply that. I think that is about it. If you wanted to make your own, they also have a blank one here, so you can create your own very easily too. And to do that, you would just press this little plus to add different questions. And like I explained earlier, all the different ways you can do those questions. If you wanted to add an image, it's super simple. You would just have to drag an image in there. And yeah, same goes with videos. You can add videos to them. And you can also add sections. So if you were having a quiz that was over 3 sections, you could have one of the sections and then have another section and then a third section. So it separates it for the students. But yeah, I think that's about it. And thank you for watching.